Hello, everyone. Today I will be looking at, this is part 6, sketch 6. This is the final version, and we are looking at the file that I placed on Google Classroom. Before we get started, I want to note that the instructions right here, it says that it should be in inches, but when we look at these huge numbers right here, it's going to be a little large if we had that in inches. So I actually want this in millimeters. Okay, so we are going to take a look at our front view first. So let's go ahead and get started. So this is our front view, our right view. We have our top view, which we're going to have to get some information for from when we go to extrude. And then this is our isometric view. Okay, so most of the information to start with, we're going to look at our front view. And here I already, let's see, I'm going to start a new document. I'll call this sketch 6. Oh, I have a typo there. I don't like typos. Sketch 6. And again, we're going to create this on our front plane. And I hit the top and the right views. I'm going to create a new sketch on the front plane. I'm going to right click and view normal to sketch plane. Always, always, always. Let's go ahead and draw our construction lines. We're actually going to need more than one set, and you all will see that in just a moment. So let's go here. We have that I'm going to put our origin right here in this big circle. We also need construction lines right here because we have to dimension from the middle of this circle down to the bottom, and from the middle of this circle to the bottom of our object, and also from our vertical construction line here to the right side of our object. So first things first, I'm going to draw our two sets of circles. I will dimension those. And the big circles get dimensions of 50 and 30. Our smaller circles get dimensions of 40 and 20. So I'll do that first. And again, these will be our larger circles, and that's where I want our origin. And here is going to be a little bit harder to tell where these circles should be, but we're going to figure that out once we start putting in our constraints. Okay, so again, let's go ahead and take a look at what our dimensions should be for these circles. So our first circle here, this is the inner circle. This should get 30 millimeters. Our exterior circle, our outer circle, this is going to be 50 millimeters. I'll clean this up in a minute. Here we're going to get 20 millimeters and 40 millimeters. Okay, so you all know I hate ugly sketches. I don't like for my stuff to look raggedy, so I'm going to clean this up just a little bit. Okay, so the next thing that I'm going to do, I know that I'm going to need a construction line right here. So I'll make a construction line, and then I'm going to make sure right now it's not coincident to anything. So I want this point, my center point, to be coincident with that construction line. So I'll put that constraint in. Let's make those coincident. Okay. And now let's take a look. We're going to draw this general outline. Okay, so let me see if I can get this at least a little bit. So I want that to be tangent to that circle. So I'm going to try to create as many tangencies as possible where they should be tangent. I know that I have, let me undo that part. I have a line coming from here over, this should be horizontal right now. Okay, it looks like it's horizontal. And let's see, that last piece, I have sort of an L shape, and we're going to make that a fillet later on. Okay, so it may not look exactly like it, but we're going to put those constraints in. Okay, now I know that these two should be perpendicular. So I'll put that constraint in right there. I also know that this line needs to be tangent to that circle. So I will put that constraint in as well. Let's see, what else? I want to make sure that I create tangencies where there should be a tangency. I didn't see that constraint when I hovered, so I want to make sure that I put that in. And then this should be tangent here. Okay, so I'm going to zoom in some. You see this little part right there? That shouldn't be there. Even though we made that tangent, I'm going to use my trim tool to just take that small little part away. We don't want that. Okay, and so now I can go in and I can create those dimensions and the rest of my constraints. All right, so I have this bottom section right here that's 18 millimeters tall. And then from our smaller circle, that horizontal construction line to the bottom, that's 56 millimeters tall. So I will put those dimensions in now. So that's going to be 18. Let me grab my dimension tool again. From that line to that line, it's going to be 18 millimeters tall. And then from here to here, that should be 56. Okay, let's grab some more dimensions. From my larger circle, our horizontal construction line to the bottom, that is going to be 118. And then from our vertical construction line to the right wall, that's going to be 50. So from here to this I'm going to do it to this point. That should be 50. Okay, and I'll fix that part later. And then from here to here, that should be 118. All right, so this line right here, this part right there should actually be vertical. So I'm going to actually delete that line, and I'm going to draw a vertical line. And then what I'll do is I'll make those 2 points coincident. Let's see if that will work. It worked. Yay. All right, so now I will put in that tangent line. Okay, so what are we missing? Let's see. We have our dimensions for our circles. This should be 56. I'm just going to clean this up a little. This is 118. All right. So I think the only thing left will be this fillet right here. And then we'll see. So I grab my fillet tool. I choose that point right there. Will it let me? If it won't let you choose a point, it's probably because there's a constraint that's not there. So our default right now is 5, but we want that to be 25. Okay, so here you see most of my lines are black. There are some that are still blue. So let's take a look at what does not match up. So we have this 56. Oh, I know what it is, 118. And we have everything else in except this bottom dimension right there. So from left to right, this should be 140 millimeters. Okay, and there we go. So that's what we should have so far. Again, make sure you clean up your sketch. Let's try to make this as neat as possible. Okay. And then that's it. Once you have that, go ahead and save that. I'm going to save this video and then I'll create another one for the next part.